What another great day and week to be confident. And I trust that you've taken away some great lessons in our experience together through learned helplessness. And you've done your measurements and you provided the progress pictures and updated those into your personal file. But today, we're going to discuss some of the most important questions that we ask ourselves that expose the emotions that we live in and day out. And there's 3 specific questions to acknowledge where our focus and attention is. And these are the patterns of focus. These questions will contain a breakthrough approach in controlling how we feel, potentially taking us from learned helplessness to blissful dissatisfaction. However, I choose to begin this coaching by asking you a question as we spend this time together here. First off, in general, what are you choosing to focus on? What are you choosing to focus on? Because here's the deal. Most every decision that we don't make consciously. The truth is we can't focus on everything. We focus only on a small number of things that matter the most to us. And that's just what we experience in life. Whatever you focus on, you begin to feel, even if it's not true. But more on that in a little bit. Let's get back to the patterns of focus that can literally alter our emotions, our state, the mood that we're in to create more abundance and positivity. Because that's what we want more of, right? So, number 1. Are you focusing on what's missing in your life or what you're grateful for? If I told you right now, there are 2 things that you can focus on. What you have or what's missing. Which one do you spend more time on, honestly? Which do you spend more time focusing on? If your brain is constantly focusing and thinking about all the things that you're missing, how could you ever live a life of sustainable blissfulness and happiness, no matter how much you achieve or how healthy you become? Now, what happens when you're focusing on what you have and what you're grateful for? This is where we feel alive, motivated, abundant. And this is simply just one example of the quality and the power to the questions that we ask and answer ourselves. The second pattern of focus. Are you focusing on what you can control or what you can't control? What are the feelings you're going to have if you constantly focus on the things that are outside of your control? Is it sadness, frustration, anger, worry? People often ask themselves, why am I so sad? Why can't I get motivated? Why am I still depressed? Because they're so focused on what's missing and all the things that are outside of their control. Some people spend their entire life resourcing their energy, wasting their life on trying to control everything outside of them. This can be rectified by simply turning the tables, shifting the perspective and focusing on what you can control over what you can't control. And the final focus, do you focus on the past, the present, or the future? Honestly, we all do all 3 of these. And if you're going to spend predominantly most of your time in enjoyment and being joyful, it's in the present. And if you're determined to create a great life, one that's full of health and abundance, it's focusing on the future. So it's a balance between the present and the future and having more of what we want. Get it? So the reason that these questions are important is because it's a recipe for how we feel. How do you feel when you're focused on what's missing, or you're focused on what you can't control, or the past? I mean, that's all in the rearview mirror. So what are the emotions that you experience? And let's sum it up by asking a bigger question. What does all this mean? Because the minute that you focus on something, any one of these, You have to give it a meaning. When you have a counterproductive, negative thought or a problem, you're in a perspective of it's a challenge or it's some type of a punishment. Or is it a perspective of it's a gift? It's an opportunity to grow. We are where our attention is. And the big takeaway for me living in this is that it doesn't exist unless you focus on it. We all have patterns of focus. You don't get what you want in life. You'll simply get your habits. Ooh! So the question is, what are you focusing on? Where has your attention become a habit? Quality control of your questions determines the quality of your control. Let me say that again. Quality control of your questions determine the quality of your control. We create the quality of our life. The quality of our life comes down to the quality of our thoughts. And here's one deeper. We are not our thoughts. We are the thinker of our thoughts. The quality control derived from the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves. So if you don't like the quality of your thoughts, then we simply must change the quality of the questions that we ask and answer ourselves. Hence, the patterns of focus. I know this is going to serve you well in bringing clarity and retribution to any counterproductive, non-serving thoughts that pop up in our head from time to time, even my own. But for me, it positions me to know what I want more of and what I truly want less of in my life. And it's that simple. And it's a powerful approach to obtaining more control of our emotions, day by day, hour by hour, making this a habit. And I'm honestly looking forward to the conversation regarding the patterns of focus. So let's get after it. Let's go. And yes, I will see you on the inside.